So the key is for you to figure out some way to believe in your own desire. And what trips you up is that sometimes if the desire has not manifested, if it's not a desire that you are accustomed to seeing turn into actualization, manifestation, then you get used to seeing it like it is, seeing the absence of your desire or the presence of something that you do not want. And most do not realize that as they focus upon what is, they continue to practice the vibration of what is, which makes it difficult for what is to change. When you want something different than what is, but you hold what is steadily in your consciousness, then you continue to practice the vibration of what is, so what is continues to present itself to you in different ways, but the same vibrational essence. Different faces, different places, but essentially the same thing continues to happen. So the key to being a deliberate creator is to find some way to distract yourself from what is while you focus upon what you prefer. It's like telling a new story, or even telling no story. Just do not continue to tell the same story if what the story is about is not pleasing to you. Seems logical, doesn't it? So you forget that you are vibration. So most of you human blessed beings, you don't deal with your life vibrationally. Instead, you deal with it in terms of action, actualization, manifestation. And that's what slows you down so much. If you could realize that you are visualizing things into being, that you are imagining things into being, if you could get your imagination into a larger part of your life experience and your observation into a lesser part of your experience would begin to flip more into things that you do want. We're not trying to get you to stop living what you're living, because most of it is really nice, isn't it? But you can be a better selective sifter than you are being. You can focus yourself more deliberately, and that really is what deliberate creation is all about. It's about deliberate focus. But in order to be effective at deliberately focusing, you have to understand what it is you're reaching for. And the thing that is interesting is that when we ask you to focus, we're not asking for your visual focus. We're asking for your vibrational focus, which means we're asking you to find a way to emotionally focus. Focus yourselves emotionally, meaning care about how you feel. And if what you are thinking about or focused upon, whether it's past, present, or future, whatever it is that has your attention, if you would remember that that focus carries with it a feeling, and if you would care about the feeling more than anything else, and you would focus your feeling into what feels better. You see, you're not here on your own, out here on the ragged edge, leading edge, out here on the leading edge. You're not here alone. You are here with all of this non-physical energy flowing with you, to you, and through you, aware of everything that you are focused upon in this moment. Not just knowing who you were when you were born, not just knowing what your reason for being here is, knowing who you are and why you are here and what you are about in this moment, what you're about in terms of your vibrational alignment or not, your vibrational allowing or not. So focusing, really, if you will think about focusing being in terms of focusing your feeling, focusing yourself into feeling good, finding a way to feel good. And sometimes that means don't think about that. That's a little tricky. I'm not going to think about that thing that I'm thinking about. I'm not going to think about that thing anymore. I'm not going to think about that thing that I keep thinking about. I don't want to think about that thing. I'm not going to think about that thing anymore, because I don't want to think about that thing. I'm not going to think about this thing. I can't stop thinking about this thing. Because when you give your attention to it, law of attraction causes a relationship to begin between you and it. That's what law of attraction is all about. In other words, when you get focused upon something, you begin to reverberate the same vibration that it is. And once you begin to do that, momentum ensues. And once momentum gets going, it's time to take a nap, really. It's time to meditate. It's time for some major distractional effort, which usually means sleep or meditate. It takes some practice, and that's what this gathering is all about. So, let's talk. What do you want to talk about?
I have been practicing the law of attraction and being in the vortex since I was 5 years old. So why did we do that? Where did it all begin? Why do we say, hope for the best, expect the worst? Why do we say nothing is too good to be true?
Now,
collectively are bombarded.
We just want to point out that this is your question, not theirs.
Well,
and that's a good thing. And the reason for that is because of your awareness of your surroundings. You've become too heavy on step one. In other words, you're sifting through contrast, and contrast is giving birth to desires. But you are so aware of what is. It's your observational powers. It's your being infatuated with the see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it reality. That what is has a sort of hold on you. And so the contrast keeps being stronger in your experience than it needs to be. The contrast is serving you, but you're more of a vibrational match to what is rather than going with the flow of the new idea. And the reason for that, you see, sometimes people ask that question, and what they really mean is, Abraham, if I'm pure positive energy, and when I reemerged into pure positive energy, I am pure positive energy, and I left behind all my doubts and fears, then why, when I return, why, when I'm back into this physical realm again, why does contrast even have to exist? And we say, because the contrast is what helps you as individuals to personally carve out your desires. And you are a creator who wanted a massive workshop from which to make your decisions about who you are and how you want to live. All of you knew when you made the decision to come into these bodies that you could create it any way you wanted. And all of you wanted variety surrounding you in order to help you to fashion the life that you want. So it doesn't need to be hard. It only is because you hold yourselves unnaturally and unknowingly away from what you want by focusing upon what is, and here's the big answer. Because you're willing to put up with negative emotion, because those around you have convinced you that it's natural. And it isn't. It isn't natural. Your parents say, well, life's hard, just accept it. Your parents say to you, the world is not supposed to revolve around you. Your inner being is saying, yes, it is. Your parents are saying, you don't get everything you want when you want it. The universe is saying, yes, you do. And so it's a matter of you tuning more to the human voice rather than to the non-physical message, and then you lose your way.
Right. And that is
for a while. Right. You get tired of it. Until you live enough of it that a part of you says, wait a minute, I cannot believe that I am supposed to be deprived from all of the goodness that I know is around. Yeah.
And that is the key. So you're surrounded collectively by a majority, by those who say life is not fun,
but that's all right, because look at it this way. You are collectively surrounded by what is. That's why we say deal with it. You are collectively surrounded by what is. What is doesn't mean diddly squat. What is only the platform from which you've launched more rockets. Don't let what is get your attention. What is old news anyway. You're out here on the leading edge. Don't you know that you want to be where the new ideas are flowing? Think about it. What isn't that compelling anymore? You've been there, you've done that. What is just the basis of stability from which you launch and thrust and come into alignment and dream and experience. The fun part of life is the rendezvous that are happening every day. It's the people coming to you. It's the ideas. It's the things you're hearing coming out of their mouths that you know the universe put there just for you to hear. In other words, it's the constant stream of unfolding. That's what life is. We were teasing with our friends who were on board the cruise ship, leaving from Seattle and going to Alaska and coming back. And as we were out floating in the beautiful waters of Alaska, we said, you got on this ship in Seattle and you're going to get off of this ship in Seattle. Wouldn't it have been interesting if once they let you get on, they said, don't unpack. This is your final destination. Might as well just get off now. It's logical, isn't it? Your journey has been completed. We don't want to waste the fuel or your time. So get off. And you would say, but wait, I didn't just get on to be on. I got on for the fun of what's coming next and next, for the new that I will see, for the new inspiration, for the new feeling of exposure to life. And so this life isn't about just getting to where you think you want to be. It's the getting to where you think you want to be that life is. And you've said it in so many different ways. It is the journey. You've heard that so much that you want to gag at it. It's the journey. It's the journey. It's the journey. Well, it is. It's the journey. It is. It's the journey. It's the journey. Your goals are just your excuse to allow yourself to be pampered and spoiled by the universe who loves you. That's what it is all about. To put yourself in the vibrational, emotional mood to allow yourself to receive right now, in this moment, everything that is lined up for you. And if you could see what is lined up for you, the cleverness, the thoughts that you have the ability to receive and convey, the rendezvous that you have the ability to achieve, the financial well-being that is all lined up, ready to show itself to you in this way and in this way and in this way. The synchronization of the entire universe, the timing of when you look where and what you see when you look there, the glances that you discover and the sunsets that you see, and the being in the place where the air hits your face in just that way. In other words, no detail is too small for the universe to orchestrate the perfection of what you want. And so when you understand, and you do, that feeling good is the key, and that you have the ability to feel good, you have the ability to control your emotions regardless of the what-isness. But in order to control your emotions, you've got to care less about the what-isness. You got to be a really good selective sifter and focus upon the best parts of what is, while you allow yourself to dream. Never mind what is. Let's pretend. Let's say it the way we want it to be. Let's conjure the feeling. Let's separate ourselves from currently what is, and let's conjure the feeling. Let's create the emotional environment. Let's put ourselves in the receptive mode. Let's get into the receptive mode so that we can hear what Source is saying, so that we can feel the impulse to move, so that we can go with the flow of well-being that's been orchestrated just for us. Not one of you would have missed the contrast, because the contrast is necessary to the creating of your vortex. Without the contrast that you think you don't want, your vortex would not be full of everything that you do want. You just got to get into that place where you don't see contrast as your enemy. Instead, you see it as your clarifier. You see it as your focuser. You see it as your helper, helping you to decide. You see it as your benefactor. You see it as the friend that it is. And when you really get into step 4 and 5, you will begin to realize that sometimes Source is even whispering the question to which you will find later a more satisfying answer. Sometimes Source is actually leading you into a situation that you might have formerly called a problem, in order to bring clarification about who you are. Because you ask for all kinds of things. You see, words don't teach. It's only life experience that teaches. So when you say, I want to be sure-footed and strong, Source says, then you need some experiences to show yourself that you are. When you say, I want to be funny, then Source knows, then you need someone to hear how funny you are. And you need to sometimes not be so funny in order to even know what funny is. Don't you?
Thank you.
Yes,
I love you.
Yes.